It doesn't really matter if it's pixelated or if it's kind of blurry, because all you're seeing is my mug. I will show a gun or two, depending on how this chat goes. But I wanted to kind of do a live chat. I just watched most of the Yankee Marshall. I wanted to do one myself, but I didn't get invited to the party. So anyway, okay. So these guys were talking about, you know, we're gonna go over some of this stuff in my chat. I'll make my own. You don't invite me? Hey, whatever. I'll make my own. You know, it's the way we do it here. But they were going over some things like lights on weapons, long guns for home defense, C-clamp in the rifle with your thumb over the bore like this. You know, check the crosswalk like this, which I can't tell you how much I dislike the check the crosswalk. Okay, I can't even tell you how theatrical, and I don't care. Well, there's only one thing that could change my mind on that. I won't say who he is, but he'll probably be in this chat later in the comments. But there's only one guy that could change my mind on that, on my feeling on that. You know, the shooting, then turning your head side to side. Because these people, it's like, kind of like Yankee Marshall had pinned the tail on the donkey, so to speak. Because what he said was, when people are doing this shooting and they're making a video and then they draw the gun in and they do this, 1,000, 1,000, they're not really doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're not really looking for another threat. They're doing a theatrical movement. A motor memory movement that they're just turning their head. I do not believe that these people are actually scanning and assessing what's going on around them. So it's not at all useful. Why I hate this so much, the shoot and then bang, bang, look side to side and all this, is because everybody wants to do it now that shoots a gun because they've seen another guy do it and they want to act like that they're trained, and when they're not. So let me get off of that point. I don't want to waste time with that. Okay, they're talking about long guns for home defense, weapons lights on firearms, lasers. Yeah, exactly. I'm just sorry. I will look at your comments. I'm not going to be that guy that doesn't look at comments. I will look at your comments, and I will also answer questions and get into topics that you bring up on the screen. As far as long guns for home defense, if you want a simple answer and you want my take on it, now you can use whatever you like. I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to be one of these guys that says, oh, it's my way or the highway. You do it the way I do it, or you're crap, or you'll be killed, or this or that. No, I'm not going to play that guy on the internet, okay? But if you want my opinion, and you want to get yourself something, this is what you get. You get an AR pistol with a 10.5-inch barrel. Why a 10.5-inch barrel, DOF? Well, I'm fixing to tell you. 10.5-inch barrel is known to be a short barrel that still will run reliably on the platform of the AR. Now, this isn't every, but a lot of times when you go to a shorter barrel than 10.5, when you go to 7 or these real short 4-inch barrels, sometimes if they're not high quality and they're not gassed just right, you can get failures to run that gun. A 10.5-inch barrel, from I've been told from people that know what they're talking about, that a 10.5-inch barrel is a lot of times the lowest they'll go, so that an AR-15 gassed platform retains reliability. So you're going to go a 10.5-inch barrel. And then, now I know guys that have shorter barrels than this on their ARs and they run fine. And then you go with something like a Shockwave brace right here, like this. That way you can still shoulder up. And I just got a name point. I got an older a Comp M3, so I can't even remember whatever it is. I don't know. I'm kind of slipping on that right now. But backup sights on it. This gun's a runner. What this is a Palmetto State Armory premium upper with the cold hammer forged FN barrels. Keith Gregory, what's up, buddy? With the cold hammer forged FN barrels, it's a premium upper for PSA in the Palmetto State Armory lower. A good friend of mine, Razor JB, sent me this. It's ambi safety from Seekins Precision, and I love it. I love it. This is the, I got this on another AR or two of mine. I love it. Just couldn't be happier with that. Other than that, it's pretty much stock. It's got the premium bolt carrier group from Palmetto State Armory. This thing is a runner. This thing is a workhorse. That premium upper with the Cold Hammer forged FN barrel from PSA, that ain't no joke, guys. This barrel's rated for machine gun fire. Anyway, this is not a machine gun or a select fire weapon. This is rated to handle machine gun fire. It's just durability of it, you know. But anyway, the reason I would pick and choose this, the only thing this needs is this. I would like to have a white light on this. Okay, that's what I'd like to do. With Wakona Prepper, thank you. What's up, Italian Pride? Hey, I'm off tomorrow. It's a holiday. Why not do a chat? You know what I mean? Let's have fun, man. You know, let's do a chat. Who knows? It may turn into an all-night chat. We'll have a pillow fight, whatever. Anyway, the only thing I would add to this is a white light right now. Now, your mileage may vary, and you know, there could be other things you could put on this. Definitely a sling and a white light. But the reason I'm saying 10.5-inch barrel, and you can go ahead and use this Shockwave brace, or you can get your stamp and you can go SBR, however you want to do it, because you can keep this close to the body and maneuver without, and you know, when you're coming to a corner, of course, you're going to try to pie the corner as much as you can. But when you're coming to a corner, you know, you can have that muzzle down toward the ground, closer in, tighter to the body. And then as you round a corner, you can come up easily. I know people always get this little thought in their mind, and it could be true, where they're going to come around the corner and somebody's going to be around the wall, and they're going to grab that barrel, you know, and get that gun from you. But you know, you could go up, but I would say go down with the barrel, like, you know, take the barrel down toward the ground, kind of like this, more in close to the body, but still like at this angle. And as you're going through the house and whatnot, then you could bring it up. Basically what it is, guys, you have something close in tight to the body that you can use. And you know, that's I'm loving the Glock 29, buddy. The Legion's gone, unfortunately, but wait till you see what I got. Okay, somebody wanted that Legion, and they had a gun that I had wanted literally for years. I call the gun a unicorn, okay, guys. I've never seen one in a gun store. But I'm going to tell you guys what I got. That gun, it's going to be the O for this gun, okay? But the Legion's gone. But the Glock 29, I'm loving it. Hey, Coke Man, what's up? Yeah, the Legion is gone, buddy. But dude, funny that Coke Man should ask me what I traded for. Coke Man, what is one of your most viral videos that you put out on your channel from years ago? What gun is in that viral video? And mine is a variation of that, but more shiny. That's what it is. But, yeah, I don't even know where I was now. I'm answering people in comments, just having fun. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Just like that one in your viral video, but more high power, more shiny, and, you know, mirror. You know what that one is. 5.7. Somebody just told me they picked up the 5.7. I was actually looking into one. Guy had one for sale used, and I like the 5.7, and I haven't got a hold of one yet. I'm looking for the right deal for him, and he was looking for some trades. I didn't want to give up what he wanted. He wanted a Saiga 12 as one of his trades. I got a Saiga 12, but man, that thing is sported out. That thing is just top-notch Saiga 12. Runs like a top. And I've had that Saiga 12 since about 2010. And it's not a gun that I ever wanted to get rid of. But the guy could have traded me an FN 5.7 flat dark earth with a good amount of ammo, and I think there was some other stuff that came with it. I can't remember for that Saiga 12, but I wasn't gonna go for that. I'd like to have the real deal ammo for that Saiga 12. That's what I'd like to have. So yeah, guys, this is a good home defense I'm calling it a long gun, but it's technically a pistol. Grab a Sky. Hey, you know what? I know an older man at the gym that is, he watches my videos and stuff, And he goes to the gym where I go. He's like 78 years old, been lifting weights all of his life. Real cool, real awesome dude. And he says, "Hey, you got to come out to this. You got to come out to my car, man, and see what I got." And he had a Sky in flat dark earth. He said, "I want to know what. I've never seen one on your videos. You tell me." He said, "I just want you to tell me what you think." So I get the Sky pistol in my hand, and I'm looking at it. The looks of this gun is actually not bad. I'm like, and I'm holding it. I'm like, you know what? The grip on this Sky, the SCCY, however you want to call it, I was like, the grip doesn't feel bad. So I check again and make sure it's empty. He took the magazine out and come out to my car for free candy. Coke man said, "Yeah, that's what he." He was like, "Oh, I got some trunk." All right. So anyway, I went out to his car, and after I ate the popsicles and the candy and everything, he said, "Here's my gun," and I re-cleared it after he had cleared it. But anyway, so I'm looking at it. I'm like, man, you know, it looks okay. I'm like, the grip feels good, and then I pull the trigger, and I'm like, I'm like the trigger's like a dog, like dragging a dog leg through the mud. I said the trigger's no good. I said it's just, you know, I said you can train with this and you can get to shoot it good. You go to the range enough, you can shoot fine with it. Close range, even with that heavy trigger pull, you're still going to get your target, because we're talking self-defense distances. Even if you're with a heavy kind of pull off a little bit when you shoot, even at close range, that gun is going to work for you if you're an average shooter, you know. But it's not optimal. But I told him, I said, the trigger on this thing, I said, is the downfall of the gun. I said, have you ever? He said, no. I said, well, here, cleared it. I said, go ahead and dry fire this. And he takes it. He said, he's fired it, but he never dry fired it. I said, did you ever really just? No, he didn't. So he goes to dry fire, and he goes, I didn't remember it being that heavy when I shot it. I said, yeah, it's because you weren't thinking about the trigger pull. I said, you were thinking about the blast, the noise, and the target downrange when you pulled the trigger. I said, you weren't even thinking about whether it was 12 pounds. So when I had him dry fire it, he realized, and he's like, get something else. Yeah, like I said, that Sky looks and the grip, the way I could get a grip on it, it was fine on both those counts. And if you train a little bit with it at self-defense range, I think you could use it for whatever you wanted, even up to a home defense gun, if that's all you had, you know. You could make that work for you. I'm not trashing the gun. Somebody said the trigger pin walked out after 200 rounds. That's not good. Yeah, that's not good if it does that. If you didn't have a lot of money and you wanted to get a gun, I would say, I'm just throwing this out here, something I don't have experience with. I didn't torture test. I'm saying like a Taurus G2, a Canic. You know, if you said, I helped somebody out not long ago. They went to a gun store. They wanted to get a gun. They weren't a gun person. They said, I just want this for protection. And, you know, what should I get? And that's hard. That's hard. Because the last thing you want a non-gun person is a gun that's hard to control, heavy trigger, hard to handle, and bulky. Anything you could name. And so what you're doing is people come to me and they're like, hey, you know, I'm a new shooter, but what should I get? And I'm thinking, you know, and they're saying I don't want to spend much money. And I'm thinking, I could get these people a real good gun with a nice, awesome trigger out of the box that they could go and practice with, and they could shoot and feel confident with. I can say, well, here's a $250 gun, so you're going to save yourself $200. You're going to have to go to the range, and it's going to take 3 times as long to train you how to run that trigger and how to your stance and your grip and everything else with this gun. You know, where do you draw that line? You know, it's a hard thing. Let me go to my safe, and I'll be right back. I want to get something because I want to talk to you guys about a tiny gun. here. I'm back. Okay, so one thing I hate too is a really bad thing. Like I love this little gun. You guys know that I just did a video on it. Hey, what's up? Hillbilly Nitro USA. Thanks for joining the party. Having a party tonight. You know, off work tomorrow and having a little fun. Yeah, any gun's better than no gun, okay, guys? But let me take this on another level here. I love this little gun. I want to do some training with it, and I want to Italian pride. I want to, but you know what really worries me is when people come to me and they're not gun people. They don't do it as a hobby. They don't go to the range as much as they can. They don't practice. They didn't shoot growing up. And he says, "This is what I want to give my wife to carry." Okay? And the first thing I think is, oh boy. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Now, if your wife is a gun girl, your daughter's a gun girl, your grandma, whatever, your aunt is a gun girl, this is okay for them to train with. But when you take somebody that aren't gun people and you say, I'm going to give this to my wife to jam in her purse, yeah, LCP too. I'm going to give this to my wife to jam in her purse. The first thing I think of is you're giving your wife a gun. More fine motor skills to rack in a stressful situation, harder to control and handle for a female, because believe it or not, even though this is 380, in a small female's hand, it'd be snappy for her. And up until this model, the old LCP was an 11-pound trigger. It was like what I call dragging through mud. That's what I call the LCP-1 trigger, dragging it through mud, baby. So guys would come to me and they'd say, hey, I'm going to get this for my wife, or hey, I bought this for my wife. What do you think? And I'm like, how do I not break this guy's day in half by telling him the truth? So in other words, what I'm saying is, if you want to get something like this for your wife before she carries it, you're going to have her, okay? Like I said, fine motor skills to rack this small slide. Coke man said, but I've seen something. And a harder to control gun in small female hands. She would be better off having a bigger gun that's a 9mm than she would to have something little like this if she's not a gun girl, not been around guns, doesn't train with guns, and just wants one in her purse. I kind of struggle with this. I hope I'm making sense, and I know I probably am to most people. It's just my 2 cents, guys. Just my 2 cents. Now, if your woman goes the range and one of these, she can along without a hitch. I think you got enough to know. Okay, let's go on to another subject. Lights on handguns. The G19 is, to me, the perfect balance for carry. Coke man, 17, but I'm a 6'3" guy, and I think 19 is perfect. The Glock 19 to dudes out there that come to me and are like, now I'm just talking about people that know who I am. I'm not a okay. I don't want any. I am not a. But people that know me and know what I do, they'll come to me and they'll say, hey, I should get, and any average the Glock, and then I always kind of back that up with one in Glock in the United States. That kind of reassures them. They think, wow, if so many other people want it, then it must be good. But there's a friend of mine who has never been really familiar with handguns, in the shot rifles, and him to the Glock 19 Gen 5, and I put sights on it for him and everything. He got the True Glow, the TFO. He loves Glock Gen 5. He loves it. Range, I help train him, and just absolutely doing good at the range with the gun. But yeah, the Glock 19 is really what I push most guys toward if they want to go for a mid-size carry. Like I said, I carry a set. Let me get something else from the safe, guys, and I'll be right back with you. Okie dokie. Let me go ahead and clear this out. This is probably my favorite Glock. If you want to know what I carry HST. So, I should just bring the whole safe in. Okay, so I do like a weapon light. Okay, this is my main Glock. This Larry Vickers Glock 17, and I call this my main Glock. I really like this one. I like my 10mm 29, but I really like this one. I have holsters that accommodate the light. I think it's a good, there's guys that'll debate back and forth. I think light on a gun, and there's a few reasons why. One of those reasons to you that most people don't think of. If you're ever in a situation where your main light goes down and maybe you don't on you, or there's just something, everything's hitting the fan, you can at last resort take your light off of your firearm and use it as a handheld if you had to. Yeah, and you can carry in the summer when you want to go a little bit lighter, carry without a light, and then carry with a light in the winter. But like I said, what I was going to say though was a lot of the purpose I would tell for you guys for a light is in your home. So like when Coke Man goes home, he could throw his light on his Glock when he takes it out of the holster and have it by his bed or whatever. So he'd still have a light on it, doesn't have to carry it out every day with him with a light on it. And yeah, or you could have a flashlight with you, and you know, guys trained to use that too. And you know, things like I said, you always have a spare light that you can pop off of your gun in an emergency if you have a light. Now keep in mind, now there's a plus and a minus, okay? I'm gonna give you both of them real quick. It's kind of common sense. The minus is that it adds weight to the gun. The plus is you would be surprised. You would be surprised on how this mitigates recoil and helps you with follow-up shots just by having this little bit of weight out here on the end of the gun. It's better than having this gun ported. If you have this out here on the end of the gun, it's better than... now, like I said, that or whatever does give you that little bit. So for the minus it gives you of adding some weight, the plus, I would say to that would be the little bit of weight on the end of the barrel that does mitigate some recoil for you. So I do like a light on the gun, and have to carry a light in your holster every day. When you get home, snap your light on your gun. Yeah, counterbalance. Yeah, it's definitely a good thing. Booming! I got 18 viewers. Woo! I got views, 60,000 subscribers. Got 18 people that want to watch. No, I'm just kidding. Like this because I can read what. If this chat room was full, like the Yankee Marshals, it was just buzzing. Like the words were just buzzing. You couldn't even read what people were saying. Yeah, Keith Gregory, I like the 10mm. I love that little Glock 29. I'm still looking for the right holster for it. Thinking I'm going to go with a Vetter holster for that gun, but the Glock 20 is definitely one of my favorite little guns right now. But I love this Larry Vickers so well, and I've done nothing to it. No extra trigger bars, no ghost triggers, nothing. I've done nothing. It's pure stock, and the trigger's really nice. Somebody said 10mm or 357 SIG. You know what? I really don't want to get into a debate about that. I think 357 SIG is a good performing round. It's not my cup of tea, but I think 357 SIG, as far as performance, is a great round. And law enforcement or any kind of carry that gun, it would be great for a windshield. Like, you know, if you had a person that was hitting people in cars, you could rip right through the door, right through their body. You could hit the windshield, go through the windshield, and also hit them there's a lot of 9mm now with the modern ammo that'll do that too. Assured with a 357 SIG that it would go through a windshield and still have enough power to disable the target. Or through doors on cars, guys. Don't go thinking that your car is some kind of tank, because it ain't. The doors on, or the doors on cars, and these cars are made as cheap as possible. They have the pillars and stuff where the structural steel is. They give the car its rigidity and, you know, for a rollover and stuff. But as far as the put on a car, man, it's like Swiss cheese. You could go right through that with about any caliber gun on the market. Now, whether that gun has enough power to disable somebody is another story. But the windshield is one where it takes some power to get through and still have enough power to disable a target. Let's put it that way. So, like tomorrow, I'm not for sure where yet. I'd like to go somewhere new maybe, but thinking about going on a hike. So let's see, what else can we talk about? Gun related, politics related, doesn't really matter. A question or something, and we can discuss it. And I'll give you my 2 cents. That's all it is, guys. Just my 2 cents. You know, I'm not anybody. 2 cents on it. That's all I can do. Man, it's almost been a half hour already. Wow. Let's see. Oh, a lot of people ask me about this watch. Okay, this is going to be really funny. You don't like the 229, I don't like the name, by the way. Do you need me to get off the internet so you can stream better? No, stay on the internet so you can watch, okay? I don't know. Am I coming through okay? Am I clear? Am I jumbled up? I don't know. Okay. Keith Gregory, I got a new gun. I got to do an epic video of this gun. It's the first that what's up, James? It's the first time I've ever had one of these. I've never even seen one in the store. This gun has been out for years. This gun has been out for a couple decades, but I've never seen this model of it in a store, and I got a hold of one, and I cannot wait to do the video for you guys. But a lot of people ask me about this watch, guys, and the funny story is, this is a $12 watch from called SMAEL, and it's a knockoff of a what, Casio G-Shock. It looks like they're $400, $300 watch. Paid 11 to 12 bucks on eBay, and guess what? It's ran the time. I've had this, I think, for a year now, and the digital part lost some time. The digital part is off, but the hands have kept perfect time. I've never reset the time on the hands except for the time change, and I've never lost a minute on the dial hands, and I paid 12 bucks for it. And I just, you know, and I can take it, hike, and do whatever I want. If I lose it, whatever. Ohio Wolverine just called it. So it's the Mud something clone from Casio. So that's what it is, guys. You know, it's not a people. For compliments on this watch, then I have one a $600 watch I used to wear, literally. Just bought a Smith & Wesson 442. Any thoughts on a good 38 special defense loads? Now, if I'm not mistaken, that gun can shoot a plus P, right? You definitely want to go with a plus P 38 special. If you wanted to know like what the ultimate would be, I would say VW Chad, what's up? I would say go with Underwood ammo, Bourbon, And if you got online, order online, Underwood or a Corbon in a 38. And let me tell you what, those pills are going to be nothing to mess with when you go with that. You could go for the extreme penetrators. All depends. Underwood ammo or Corbon. For the Smith & Wesson 442. Yeah, any other questions, concerns from you guys? I'll just hold this, right? I'm trying to think if there's anything in this. I did get a new revolver. You guys want to see my new revolver? Revolver, month and a half to 2 months. I never showed on video. You like to see that? I shall be right back. I gotta go to the safe. All right, I'm back. Guys, I love this gun. I just love this. I started getting into revolvers a little bit more and picked up a couple of them, but this is one of the ones I use in market, like new conditions. Oh man, this is the Smith & Wesson Talo model 629 44 Magnum with a 3-inch barrel and with these beautiful dragon skin, I call them, grips, wood checker grips. Look at that. I will be doing a video on this, guys, for you. It's got hardware in there where the screw, just a beauty. This thing is just, it's an amazing gun. It is a beauty, guys. I love it. Now, one of the upgrades this thing has on it is it has a factory. And I gotta tell you what, this is one of the smoothest on a revolver. Even with the double action pull, this trigger is, let me clear this one more time. This trigger, even pull, it's just, it is unbelievable to keep this sight on target and to pull this trigger at the same time. And then if you have the hammer back, I mean, it's just the lightest to feel. Bing. I mean, I really like this. I like this gun so much that I'm actually going to pull a Yankee Marshall and I'm going to get a holster. I do want to carry this sometimes. Beautiful leather hole, classic style, and I do want to carry this 3-inch Model 6 Smith & Wesson 4. What do you guys think of that? I love it. I absolutely love that revolver. Now, if you told me you're going to have 3 attackers, multiple attackers, and you're going to be in close quarters and you're going to need to shoot fast and you're going to need to make your shots count and you're going to have 3 people, this is what I'd take. But a revolver place. Always revolvers. I wish a revolver ever. They always have their place. And, you know, if you want to conceal carry one, it would. If you want to conceal carry one, more power to you. Because like I said, I want to get a Savoy, or however you call it, Savoy, or however they. If you guys don't know what those are, SAVOY, I believe, leather, look them up. They are the coolest holsters I've ever seen in my life. I wish they'd offer to send me one, but they never have. They make these holsters with different designs on them. They got one with Mario Brothers. They got one, like they have a beautiful, like a dark brown leather holster that looks kind of aged. And then they char the edges to black at the edges. It fades out to black. In the center of the leather, they took color and they got Beavis and Butthead. They're going like this or something on in the leather. They've got ones that, you know, don't tread on me. They've got military, law enforcement. They've got Mario, Luigi, all kinds of just like George Washington and just all kinds of stuff imprinted on this leather with color. And I'm telling you, some of these holsters go up to $300. But I'd like to get one of those for that 44 Magnum. All right, guys, so anything you'd like to discuss, talk about? We're just doing a little home, you know, that's all. We're just kicking back, kind of like if we were sitting in the same room together and chatting, you know. I like that. I like that kind of style. That's why when I was watching a live chat tonight, I was like, I got to do a live chat. Even if I'm not coming through clear, I don't know how my picture's coming through. So I wanted to do a live chat, you know, it's fun. Feels like you really connect with the people that view your content. I don't know, let's talk about. I'll be doing a video on this, guys, but I'll go ahead. You'll get the first look here. If you're one of my few super fans, I'll call you. I mean, my super fans are the ones that... Anyway, what on grip on this, I just did a video on this gun and telling you guys how I got it used for 200 bucks. I really like it. But I put a Talon grip on the gun right there. And then I painted the front glow paint. Right there's the front sight. I painted it with some glow paint. Right. What's funny is in the eBay ad when I bought this glow paint, I swear to you the picture shows it this big, and as big around as okay, it's about that big, and as big around as a quarter. Here's what came to my door. Boom. That's what came. Look how tiny. But anyway. This is glow in the dark. It's white paint that glows, but it's got to be charged by light, but I white. So what I did was and then I put my Talon grips on there and booyah, good to go. I like this little gun. This is a good little gun. You know, if you want something small, slip this into the grocery store or whatever, you know, it'll do the trick. It'll do the trick for you. Okay. Questions, thoughts, anything. Magnum is just for Magnum round. There's a lot of style. Well, what rounds are those? Like, we see rounds come and go. For a while, everybody was going away from the 9, okay? After the FBI, the shooting and the people had the bomb, started to veer away from 9, was going to 10 millimeter, okay? 10 topic. It was the new kid on the block. 10 millimeter was where it was at. I was talking to this one guy, and he was going to academy to be a cop, and he's like, man, he's like, he just, all this guy was 10 millimeter, 10 millimeter, 10 millimeter. He had 10 millimeter one track mine. Now I like my 10 millimeter, but this guy was 10 millimeter on the brain. Okay, then everybody went to 40. Then since the FBI was using 40, all the civilians were like, yeah, I want 40. You've got to have 40. You've got to use 40 caliber. And then advances in the concealed carry market. See, the concealed carry market is what pushed 9 millimeter to be what it is today. The 9 millimeter is not the same animal that it was back in the Miami shooting. No way. Back then could not hold water to what the 9 millimeter plus Ps that I'm out with today. It is a whole new world than what it was back in the 80s. I'll tell you right now. Millimeter is no slouch. You get a modern day plus P 9 millimeter, Federal HST, Golden Saber, winch, anything you name it with a hollow point, I'm telling you what, enough have your back. So now the FBI went back to 9 millimeter. Everybody's gravitating back toward 9 millimeter again. So I say all that to make my point. 44 Magnum has never went out of style. .357 Magnum has never went out of style. There's just rounds that will always be, I believe, and I believe the 9mm is here to stay. I've got nothing against 40. People always ask me all the time, oh, do you hate 40? You trash 40? Guys, I don't trash 40 at all. I think 40s is a higher pressure and very good, but I will tell you this. I can get 9mm loadings in a plus P from companies that will go toe-to-toe with a 40 as far as ballistics and foot-pounds of energy. Feet-pounds of energy, that sounded smart. But 9mm plus P modern day ammo that will go toe-to-toe. That is one of the reasons the FBI switched. Nothing wrong with a 40 caliber. Nothing wrong with you carrying it, using it, whatever you want to do. But that's just, it is what it is. Because people wanting small guns has had more advances than any other round on the market. And it's because of the market that's dominated in sales. That's what they want to target. Civilian sales. And they know that small, compact 9mm are what dominate the carry concealed market. So if you have an ammo company that comes out with a product that says this is what it does to gel, this is FBI test, this is what it does ballistically, and you show proof of that, you will become a millionaire overnight if you come out, if your ammo comes out and it is spectacular to 9mm, become a multi-millionaire overnight. Because the concealed carry market in this country dominates pretty much every gun market there is. Let me go get something else out of the safe. Right back. BRB, baby. Okie dokies. So, you want to talk about what the most, I guess, scientifically, and if you go by the pie charts and everything else that there is, the handgun round that is supposed to be the most for one single shot, it still stands to this day, would be old .357 Magnum. That is like the round, the most one-stop shot stops, and pretty much statistically proven to be a hammer when it hits. And one of the most likely cases to stop a threat, .7 Magnum. You can research into that if you'd like. Guys, this is my Smith & Wesson 686. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the 7-shot, so it's the plus. And I love this. I love this gun. Just very, very, very nice piece of equipment. 6-inch barrel. Love the 6-inch barrel on this. All of you know, like I said, you guys are super fans, the ones watching this live chat. So I'll tell you, I don't know, you might, I think I mentioned it before. Fortunately, I no longer have my Colt Python. Remember the unfired Python I bought? Did a video back in line. It's crazy. I've been doing videos for 10 years, over 10 years now. But back in 2009, I got my Colt Python revolver. Mint condition, just mint in every way. The bluing was just perfect. The royal bluing, everything. When I went to buy my house and stuff, it costs when you get into buying a house. And I had saved money for a long time, and I needed more money to tie up loose ends when I was buying my home, and just, you know, that hump. And I said, well, a few things. I just would rather get the money, get taken care of what I need to get taken care of for my home, to be able to purchase it. And I mean, it went so fast. I listed that Colt Python on Arms List for a local sale, and I had guys messaging me from out of state that wanted to pay me extra money and shipping if I would ship it to them. I mean, they were like, it was like you walked into a neighborhood of crackheads and had drugs in a month, and you had pockets full of crack rocks. When I posted that Colt Python on Arms List, I mean, I was blowing my phone. I mean, when it sold and it was local and it was the closest guy to me that said I'll take it. When that gun sold, even after I pulled the ad down, people were still calling my phone. I put my phone number on there. I wanted to get it fast. I was in the process of buying my home, and the phone was still blowing up all evening, even after I pulled the ad. You know, the gun is sold, sorry. The guy comes back with a counteroffer. I'll give you this much more. And now I'm not a guy to do that, okay, guys? I know some of you think, well, you got to do what's best for you. But with me personally, when I make a deal with somebody, and I talked to the guys to me that wanted it, and I just said I'll pick the closest guy that I'm not going to have to drive far to sell this Colt Python. When I picked that person and we made the setup to meet, from that point on, another guy offered me $200. I turned it down because I've never been that kind of guy. I just don't feel right. And I know somebody probably would have done that to me. I know probably if I was buying something and somebody counter-offered them, they probably just went and sold it for money, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it to the guy. He talked to me on the phone. He said how he really wanted it and all this stuff, and he was very happy to get it and would meet me anytime. And after he made me that deal, somebody offered me than what I just made the deal about, and I turned the other guy down. And he said, well, will you keep me in line? I'll still give you the backs out. I said, sure. So then what did I do? Then I went and sold the gun to the original guy that I texted, the guy that offered me more money, and even got back with him and said, he went ahead and purchased it and didn't back out. Sorry about that. And the guy said, okay, thanks anyway. I just can't do that to somebody. I just really feel bad if I make the deal. I can't do that. I can't. Now, if there was an emergency, I would back out of a deal. Let's say I'm going to do a gun deal and my engine blows. I probably gun deal, you know, but short of an emergency, I'm not going to back out of a deal. And even if my car engine did blow, I would take a photograph with my phone and send it to the guy that I was supposed to, and say, here, so you know I'm not lying, because that's just when I deal with guns, that's just the way I've always been, and I feel that's the only way to be, you know. And a lot of guys I've dealt with have been that same way to me as well. So anyway, the Colt Python is gone. And I miss it. But I do love my house. And that's, you know, what are you going to do? You know, like I said, I saved money, had money and everything, but when it comes to the end of me getting my house, there was all kinds of loose ends and stuff I had to tie up, and I was running short, and I was happy to get my house, selling that up over the top even, and of what I needed. And you know, well, I know it's gonna be terrible. You gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta have, you know, you gotta give everything was right. Fenced-in yard for the dogs. 90 by 10 yard that I can just open a side door and let the dogs out anyway. You know, everything about that was perfect. You know, Hercules fence all around the, you know, just every house, everything there. And I wasn't going to lose everything for me and my dogs and stuff over, you know, keeping a Colt Python. I just couldn't do it. Sorry. So, wow, has it been 50 minutes already? Guys, I could probably do this all night. I'm surprised nobody's asking me questions. Can you guys even hear me? Is this thing on? I know you're watching. But, all right, guys, well, if nobody's got anything that they want to question, ask it now. I'm going to give you a few minutes because I'll go ahead and cut her here in a bit, if not. But if you got any questions or anything you want to talk about with me, go ahead and put it up. Let me see if I can talk about. Okay, let's talk about this. I want to talk about years ago, I went to a college party. And it was a good friend of mine that I grew up with, and his family. And he was always, he was like my best friend there was. Practically lived at his house, you know, when I was older. And family was real nice to me. Like he got everything. Christmas, you know, I'd get some things and, you know, and this and that. But this guy, like, he got, like, it would be a section of, like, you got a guitar and you got a drum set. Then he got all this cover here and all this from here. And then over here, he got all of his clothes. He got LL Bean. He got this and that. I remember he got a snowboard one year, and they bought him the kit with the wax and the whole 9 yards. I mean, they just, you know, but they had money, and he seemed like he got everything. So kind of being friends with him, I got a lot too. It was like, you know, he would give me stuff, or we'd trade something, or like amusement parks or something and take me with him. It was cool, but I'm trying to think of why I even started telling this. I can't even remember. Oh, okay. But anyway, guess what? When he got of age and he got out of high school, he was going to go to Ohio State College. And he said, hey, man, he said he went down to enroll and all this stuff. I forget whatever he was doing. He wanted me to come with him. These guys down there, I knew one of them. I was cool with them. Now, like all these people, like we were like a lot opposites in a lot, you know, in a lot of things. But a lot of the guys I was friends with, you know. So we get down there. Literally, he's like, here's where we pull up, and I'm like, what? I'm like, this is a bar. I'm like, what? I'm like, what do you mean they're where I live? I'm like, we're going to, like, you'll see. So we go in, and here what it is that we go in. It's a complete bar. There's nothing on. It's not open for business or nothing, but the whole bar is stocked with liquor, like it's a full-fledged running bar. He goes, come here. We go walk on, and he goes, the one guy, his name was Nick. He goes, Nick's dad owns this. He's like, you'll see. He's like, they got a whole apartment, a whole. I'm like, what? I was like, does he let them? Did they come down here? He's like, yeah, anything they want, they come down here, they party all night. He's like, right at party at this bar. So we go upstairs. There's a huge Ohio State too. It's so crazy, man. This was like the best spot there was. Like, take any teen movie that you've ever seen about college, any of the American Pie movies or anything, and this bar was like the best. I mean, it was like anything that you've ever seen in a movie. So I'm upstairs where the whole width and length of the bar, okay? And I don't know, there's like half a dozen guys up there, and everybody's partying, man. They got these guys, I mean, they had stuff up there. They had a gallon and a half of 151 Bacardi rum. Like I said, guys, I don't drink. This was years ago. I was just a young pup. You know, I don't even know. I don't even what I was, but I was just a young pup. I don't know. 18, something like that. But half of 151 rum, and they had all this other stuff. And it was like, hey, we're going to go to this other guy's house that's here. Now, this is the part, okay, because what was going on was I just took a tumbler. I had 2 tumblers, okay? This was me, guys. I took two, one with Bacardi, one I filled the other tumbler with, I don't even know what liquor it was now. I think, oh, Canadian whiskey. It was Canadian, yeah, Canadian whiskey. So I had a Canadian whiskey tumbler and I had a 151 tumbler, and this is me. The whole time, I'm just walking around with these two glasses, and if I drink any, I'll go right back and fill it up. They're all like, yeah, you know, do whatever you want. And you know, I'm going down, I'm sitting by, you know, I'm looking at the bar. There's a big full mirror, all these bottles and everything, and like, yeah, man. So they said, we're gonna go to this guy's house. They're like, I've been drinking and hanging out there, and I got a good buzz going. And I'm like, guys, I'm taking this with me. Now, I didn't drive anywhere. The guy that I was with that was going to college there drove me there, and I didn't even have a car. So did not drive at all. But I said, I'm taking these tumblers with me. They're like, yeah, dude, whatever, man. Whatever. They're like, here, 51, a gallon and a half. Okay? And I'm like, I got it under my arm. It's like half full, sloshing. I got the two tumblers, or the two like pint glasses of the whiskey. And I'm going down to the car, and you're like, man, this house is crazy, dude. They're like, you're gonna see this house is crazy. And it was too. Now it was a ways, it was a little drive to get there. And I'm sipping on 151 Bacardi. I remember, ooh, it was just like gasoline. I'm like, ugh. I just keep, you know. And then I had Canadian whiskey in the other one. And then I would like do that and then chase it with some Canadian whiskey. So we're driving for a long time, and guys, at this point, it's so hard. I'm buzzed alcohol. And I remember it was massive. It wasn't anything like, or anything like that, but it was a massive house. In fact, it was an old house. It was very old. And we go into this house, and I'm like, that. It has, like I went 18th century when I walked into this house. The walls were like red wallpaper, and it had like these certain, I can't explain it, but these certain patterns of velvet that came out. Really raised velvet on the, it had like the couch, like back in the Wild West, the little strands, the claw feet on the bottom and the strands that come on. Looking, and I'm like, oh my goodness. Room, and there's this big painting on the wall of George, and I mean, this is just absolute coolest paintings I've ever seen. That's no idea, but it was a real oil painting. I know that. It was signed and everything. Sipping this whiskey and stuff. House, every room, there was another oil painting of a president. And like the light fixtures were old style, like in the 1800s. Dude, this was the craziest experience ever. It was like, and especially when that, and like, I remember one point I was going up these stairs, and it was like the staircase, like all the wood was cherries going up. It was really like, it was really old and looked like somebody had to have done it by hand. And there was an oil painting of Lincoln, this huge, I mean, these paintings were massive, real Lincoln. And like the turquoise blue, and like the lighting was dim, and it was just insane. So we're at this house, and they're looking at me. They're like, man, because I'm looking at all these presidents and stuff, and I'm so trashed. I'm just like, and there's this lady that lives there, and they take me to this lady, and they're like, yeah, he likes you. Remember, like, I was so drunk, I was trying to talk to her, and they're all making fun of me and laughing. And I was, you know, 18, 19. I was the guy that was like drinking and have everybody, you know, the life of the party. So these guys are like, they're laughing. I'm trying to tell them the paintings, and I'm not, you know, I'm like slurring and, you know, like messing up what I'm saying, and they're just laughing at me, and I'm still carrying the one Bacardi rum, and I got the two glasses in my hand. It was crazy. And so we leave there back, and all I remember is the next day, I wake the next day, and I am down on that bar that's not open for business, but it's fully stocked, and the dad owned of the one of the guys that stayed there. I remember I was on the floor. I pulled it like when I where I was at. I was like, oh, that the 51.5 gallons was close to me. Must like this much left. I was like to call that. Some of the other guys probably drank it, made him leave it with me, or I probably spilled some. There was like this much left of this big 1.5 gallons of one, and then there was like some Jamaican. There was like whiskey on this side, and I'm like, what? And I like I went behind Jamaican whiskey. Reason I have no clue, but there's a Jamaican. Never heard of this, and like. And I'm just looking, and like there was a chair pulled out. Like I had been sitting on this table, I guess. But both these bottles were on the floor. Even when I went to took the bottles with me to the floor, it was funny. But I'm gonna sign off with that, guys. I hope you guys have a great holiday, and we'll do this again real soon, guys. All right. Until next time, guys. This is D.O. and I'm out.